Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Kate. I'm a trichologist, which means that it's my job to help you with your hair and scalp problems. And in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to 5-minute crafts, 30 tips for hair beauty. Now, if you've not come across 5-minute crafts before, maybe close your laptop, maybe turn your phone off, walk away from this video and congratulate yourself that you don't know who they are. But if you do want to stick around and watch this video, 5-minute crafts are what's known as a content farm. They produce lots of videos, they recycle their content, their videos tend to be very clickbaity, and they've often got really weird tips and hacks that are more complicated than the problem that they're trying to solve. I don't know. So I wanted to have a look at this video, which has 14 million views, to give my professional opinion on the tips that they are giving us to make sure that they are sensible and true. Okay, I've got my laptop, got my headphones, so let's have a look. Dandruff, okay. Grab an onion, okay. Wouldn't that make your eyes really sting? Okay, coconut oil, burdock oil. Okay, so we're off to a good start, it looks like. So let's talk about what dandruff is. So dandruff is a mild version of a scalp condition called seborrheic dermatitis. Seborrheic dermatitis is an inflammatory condition where our immune system reacts to a yeast that lives on all of our scalp. The yeast is called Malassezia, and in some people our immune system reacts to it. Seborrheic dermatitis and dandruff is really easily treated with medicated shampoos, anti-dandruff shampoos that contain treatments that are targeting the yeast and also helping with itching and redness and that sort of thing. So the ingredients in their DIY remedy are onion juice, coconut oil and burdock oil. Onion juice does potentially have some antifungal properties to it, but my first thought is that my eyes would be stinging so much. I don't know about you, but as soon as I cut an onion, I'm done. I have to leave the kitchen. I can't handle it. Coconut oil is sometimes used in the treatment of seborrheic dermatitis. It's a really good moisturizer. So we sometimes recommend it for people who have a bit of a buildup of scales on the scalp, because the coconut oil can moisturize and soften those scales to help lift them off with other treatments. But coconut oil and any type of oil that sits on the scalp can cause irritation and actually make skin conditions worse. So I tend to recommend not to use coconut oil or other types of oils, especially if other treatments are working, just to reduce the chance of further dermatitis and irritation on the scalp. Burdock oil I've never heard of. Obviously I've heard of it in like drinks, but I haven't heard of it as a remedy for dermatitis and dandruff. None of these things are proven, and as I say, just use an anti-dandruff shampoo, or if you're struggling, speak to your GP or a trichologist or a dermatologist. Don't do this. Okay, next tip. Okay, if you are losing that much hair, I don't even know what they're going to do next, but if you're losing that much hair, don't try and treat it with anything at home. You need to speak to a professional. They've obviously either cut her hair or used hair extensions or something, but I don't even know what to say. I suppose let's watch what they recommend. Oh my. Okay. Whoa. There is so much to talk about in that clip. Okay, so if you are losing that much hair, that's caused by an internal problem. And it's not something that you can fix by putting anything on the hair, let alone what appears to be a bread recipe. I have no idea why they would be recommending vodka or yeast for the scalp. Honey and egg yolk, maybe, as a DIY hair treatment. But where did they get this from? Where did they get this information from? Also, this before and after picture is really weird. The first image is what a normal scalp looks like. It's normal to be able to see your scalp when you part your hair. That's what you want to see. The after image is not what scalps look like. They've obviously used some sort of root powder or coloured dry shampoo to make up this before and after. Also, hair takes a really long time to grow, so the idea that you can go from excessively shedding hair to spraying something on your scalp to then seeing this increase in density where coincidentally you have the same amount of root regrowth as you did in the before picture is obviously very silly. This has really exceeded my expectations so far. Okay, let's keep going. Dry hair, okay. Ah. No. No. What else can I say but no? I really wasn't expecting them to recommend whipped cream for dry hair. So dry hair can be caused by lots of different things, from the climate that you live in to just general damage to the hair to your diet. When you have dry hair, it tends to mean that your hair doesn't have enough water content in the actual shaft itself, or it can mean that the cuticle is roughened so your hair feels dry. Whipped cream is a really strange thing to recommend. I understand maybe where they're coming from with this, that cream might have some fat content and protein which might help the hair texture, but cream in a can also has aerosol and sugar in it, so I think that would negate any potential beneficial properties from whipped cream. There are much easier things that you can do to help dry hair. For example, cutting your hair, deep conditioning your hair, trying not to damage your hair through heat or styling practices. Whipped cream would be an absolute last resort if you have, I don't know, if you're stuck on a desert island and only have whipped cream. Even then you could just cut your hair though, so I don't know. Okay, so I've skipped through a few tips because they were all DIY ways to dye your hair. From a trichologist perspective, yes, dye can damage your hair, but it's also important in how we feel about ourselves. So I have absolutely no problem with people dyeing their hair, but I would recommend going to a hairdresser's preferably, or using a box dye where you follow the instructions very carefully. You don't need to use beetroot and felt tips. Okay, I think I found another hair tip. Egg. Oh, egg white. And beer, okay. What is this channel? What is this channel and why am I watching it? This was my choice, I can't say anything. So if you were to Google egg hair mask or beer hair mask, you'll find loads of articles proclaiming their benefits and how they might condition the hair and soften the hair and strengthen the hair and all that sort of thing. Egg yolk does contain lots of fats and protein that, if applied to your hair, might make your hair feel softer. And eggs are really good for our hair health if you eat them rather than putting them on your scalp. Eggs, as I've said, do have lots of protein, fat, vitamin D, B vitamins, which are all important in making sure that our hair is strong and healthy, but it's much better to eat the egg rather than put it on our hair. In this recipe, they've just used egg white, and if left on the hair can create a bit of an unpleasant film and hardness, so I would avoid that. With beer, again, people say, oh well, beer's got proteins and vitamins in it, so that might be nice for the hair, but when we talk about food that's high in protein and vitamins and minerals, is your first thought beer? It isn't mine. I do like beer. I would recommend drinking it if you're of the age where you can drink beer rather than putting it on your hair. All right, next one. Dandruff again. Mouthwash. Baking soda. So firstly, mouthwash tends to contain high percentages of alcohol, which tends to be very drying on the hair and scalp. If you have a condition like dandruff, this will make it worse. And baking soda has a really high pH. It's very alkaline. When we apply high pH substances to our hair, what happens is the outer layer of the hair cuticle opens. Now, when the hair cuticle opens, if you don't then close it again, what it'll mean is that your hair will feel very rough, it will tangle more easily, it will snap more easily, it's more prone to damage. So this is definitely not recommended. And aside from that, it's not going to help dandruff, so there's that. Okay, next one. Well, what is this thing with whipped cream on the hair? Is it? I guess it's just because it looks fun in a video. Like I've said, coconut oil can be very moisturising to the hair. Don't use coconut cream though. You can buy plenty of conditioning masks and shampoos that contain coconut oil or coconut cream. Let's keep going. Okay, so knotty tangled hair. Wash the hair, okay, that's good advice. Thermo protector. No. No. Maybe this is the worst one, I don't know. So if you have knotty tangled hair, that means that your hair cuticle is roughened, so your hair strands are getting caught together. Washing the hair is actually quite good advice here. Shampooing and conditioning the hair should reduce knottiness and tangling. Applying a thermo protector is also fine, and what the sort of product that they use looked like it might have some sort of conditioning treatment in, so that was fine. What isn't fine is firstly suggesting that you should use high heat from a straightening iron on wet hair. This is terrible advice. When you apply high heat directly to wet hair, it can cause a condition called bubble hair, which is when the water that's in your hair shaft turns to steam very quickly, and that causes split ends and breakage to your hair. So that's why we say when your hair is wet to not use a straightener or a curling iron on your hair. It's much better to let your hair air dry, or if you want to dry your hair using a hairdryer, then using it on a cool setting and using a heat protectant is the best advice. Also, wrapping foil around your hair straighteners seems like a huge fire hazard to me. Please don't do it. Don't try that at home. Okay, so I've watched the rest of the video now, and I think the rest of the tips aren't really worth commenting on. Honestly, the video was worse than I suspected. There's some really bad advice, really bad ideas in this video. Please don't try them at home. If you are experiencing problems such as dandruff or hair shedding or dry and tangled hair, my best advice is to speak to a trichologist. Don't try and Google or DIY remedies. You might end up in a situation where you're wrapping foil around straighteners, and that seems like a terrible idea. Right, so I hope you found that video entertaining and useful. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe and also leave a comment and let me know what sort of videos you'd like me to do in the future. You can also follow my Instagram for more tips on hair and scalp health. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!